All right, I'm excited. I get to build something today. I've got my entire work area ready. I've cleaned my head bolts. I've got my two new pistons. I've got the cylinder heads ready to go on. First I set my gaskets that I have sprayed with the Permatex copper coating. As I've said in other video, I use it. I like the extra sealing that it gives. These gaskets will only fit one direction, so you can't get them wrong. You've got these obvious little tangs that stick out on the gasket that match up with part on the base of the engine, and then of course you've got alignment pins. Okay, I'm getting my piston ready. I have to kind of watch what I do because my table's on kind of a slant and I've got a dirt floor. There's my circlips. There's your washers. Now, Kawasaki's doesn't have these, or the 1100 I worked on didn't. So each one of these is going to go on each side of your rod on the inside of this piston. So you got a washer that you got to put in there. You stick your wrist pin through. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get one of my circlips going. Okay, so just to show you, I've worked my first circlip in, and the gap in the circlip is in the 12 o'clock position. So my first clip's in place. You want to make sure those are seated well. You don't want that thing coming out while this engine is operating. I reached under and slid in my other washer, held it in place, slid it in, and now I'm ready to install my other circlip on this side. All right, a circlip in place, and I use a little flat blade to rotate the opening to the 12 o'clock position. One piston done. Okay, two pistons on. I always double check my circlips. Make sure that opening is in the 12 o'clock position up here, but also that they're fully seated. They're fully seated in there. Because you can get it and it'll look like it's in and the thing isn't in all the way. It really wasn't as difficult to, let me zoom back out here. It wasn't as difficult to put those extra washers in as I thought it was going to be. Staging the one washer as you're going in. My arrows are toward my exhaust. F for the front. I'm good. Now all I gotta do is, don't want to forget, I take a little bit of this two-stroke oil here, and I lube all this up. Just like I lubed up, and I didn't mention it, but I lubed up inside of here. I stick my finger in the end of the bottle, lube up both sides of the piston before I slide the wrist pin in. Of course, before you're going to go back on with your cylinder head, you want to make sure your rings are in the correct position, because I guarantee you, while you were installing it, they got out of position. Get them back where they need to go. They pinch together at those pins, and careful going back together that when you're pinching those with one hand and coming down with the other, that they're staying lined up. You don't want to have that piston ring pushed out too far on once it ain't gonna last very long. Okay. All right, another reason to love Yamaha. They gave you this cutout, that U shape. You can see if your rings are lining up as you're going on. And all I got to do is turn it a little bit, and I can check my other one. Love it. Okay, I have put Loctite on all 8 of my bolts. I haven't tightened them yet. They do have to be torqued. I'm using this orange. Red can be really hard to get off sometimes. Orange is a little stronger than blue. So it is 40 Newton meters for these bolts. 29 foot-pounds, okay? For those over here in the USA. 29 foot-pounds. If you go 30, it probably won't hurt, but 29 is what they call for at Yamaha. Ski Clinic specs for these bolts. Oh, and I also wanted to add, since there isn't a particular sequence on these, just do a cross pattern diagonally from each other. And as with all torquing, go about half. So say 15 foot-pounds first to all of them, and then go up and finish with your 29. Okay, tighten those down. Cylinder heads are torqued. Now we got to do the top. And pretty much there's only one way this goes on. If you see this little oblong shaped piece here, it's gonna lay over the oblong shaped piece on your cylinder. Okay, so if you put it that way, you know, maybe some of your bolt holes are gonna line up, but it ain't gonna look right. So once again, pretty much just one way this is gonna work. And that's just like that. Just like that. And we'll get to the cylinder head. Okay, so we're getting ready to do the cylinder head. One of the things that's going to help you if you threw all your bolts in a pile like I did, they're stamped with a number 10 on the top, the cylinder head bolts. Plus they look a little, they're not as silver as some of the other bolts. They've got kind of a yellowish look to them, but they're going to have the number 10. But remember, 2 of these are longer because there's that bracket that fits on one end of this. I think it's this end. Let's talk power valves. One of the things that these Yamahas, the 800s, the 1200s, I think there's some 760s, they've got these power valves in them, okay? And there's a 3mm hex that's holding the little brass insert in. Let's see if I've got one out of the, yeah, I've got one out right here. Okay, so this is your power valve. And if you'll notice, you have a indented, grooved section. When you're putting that power valve in to your cylinder, you want that scalloped, indented part facing down, okay? I noticed that mine, this came out of an SBT build right here. You notice it's got these little cuts right here. My factory Yamahas, they didn't have that little cut in this power valve assembly, okay? So what also you'll notice, these are my factory actuators that go on, they hook onto this, okay? And they actuate that up and down with the cables that hook up to this rod. This is an SBT. And I want you to notice that SBT, instead of, you can just buy this waveeater kit. This is a $55 kit with the little spring that goes to the secondary. It replaces the factory rubber one. It's already getting kind of mushy and whatever. It's just all plastic in there, and it goes to the secondary, so this can break. But this company came out with these clips that keep this valve from dropping down and damaging your cylinder. I highly, highly recommend, if you've got a Yamaha with the power valves, to buy the waveeater kit with the clips and put those on there to keep that from doing major engine damage. Now, the SBT builds, like I say, you see how they did this? See how this is open on the end? This is what comes with it from the factory. They're open. But SBT came out with their own fix for it. They fully enclosed this with their replacement. See that? That was the SBT fix. So if you buy an SBT engine, it's going to have this. And I don't know if this is considered an upgraded power valve that they use or what, but it's a little different than the factory Yamaha. If you got factory, this is what you've got. Unless you've got an SBT build, you're going to have these, and you're going to need to get these waveeater clips, and we'll do an installation on that. And actually, you buy it, it shows you how to do it right here on the back of the package. Save your engine. Waveeater. I have not seen this demonstrated on anybody's video, but there's a waveeater clip installed. You could do this with the engine in the ski, okay? But you're going to have to take the exhaust manifold out because it covers up this, okay? These just press on. I was able to do it with a thumb on each side, push it straight on, and then you seat it down over the bolt. You don't even have to take the bolt head out. So all they're doing with these waveeater clips is covering up this open end where this pin right here on the end of this rod can drop out and cause this to drop into the cylinder and ruin it. If you have SBT built engine, you do not need waveeater clips because number one, it ain't gonna fit. They already took care of the problem with this redesigned piece where it's not open-ended like this, okay? There you go. They've also got some other good information that I didn't know on the inside of this product about a waveeater toe valve. I'll show you. I kind of tore this. Let's say if you tow your ski, you take it to the dealer. Oh, it looks like it flooded. Water intrusion isn't covered, blah, blah, blah. The water flooded your engine after your failure because you were towing it. They're saying water will come in your jet pump line if you tow the ski, fill up your exhaust, and then start flooding into your engine. You know, there you go. There's a solution for 20 bucks to that problem. I didn't even know about that one. Don't tow your jet ski without it, is all I can say. Otherwise, you could flood your engine. All right, I got it in. Here's a new style coupler that replaces the little plastic thing that Yamaha gives you. Waveeater clip. That pin will never fall and cause catastrophic damage with that little clip. You can buy just these clips for about, I don't know, 20-something bucks. Like I say, the whole kit, I bought the whole kit that adds this piece. It's like $55. Considerable extra for this. Waveeater clips will save your engine, guys. You say, well, mine never did it. Well, eventually they seem to. So I'm not taking any chances. All right, that's done. Put those covers on. And I'm still waiting on a carb kit, so I can't get this one quite ready yet. But other than that, it's ready to go. It was a little bit of a pain getting this one little clip that's on here in with this in the way. But it can be done. All right. Okay, so we have just finished these Torx 38 foot-pounds, 17 on first. These go to 25, and we'll do about 13 on the first. Torquing it all, baby. Already got my cylinder head done. And then be waiting on the carb kit to build the carb.